Welcome, everyone. Welcome back to Every Week We Follow. And Gaz, how are you? Oh, notebook and pen. Celebrity notebook and pen.
You're more than a result in my little black book. You're more than a one-game stand. I love it. That's my little
Anyway,
intro to that. Anyway, yeah, sorry.
So speaking about something that was as shit as that song, Spurs at home.
Link that brilliantly, mate. That's very good.
Right. It's just one of those games where, like, we should win this comfortably. Kulusevski's out, Madison's out.
Sorry.
Is it? But someone else is out, and they're gonna although I don't think they'll rotate their team quite as much as people think, because they rotated their team for their last game, and so actually, like, Brennan Johnson and that haven't played for
So you think they'll get minutes?
I think they might get some minutes, because otherwise, I think when they play in the Europa League, they won't have played for like 2.5 weeks. So he'll want them to be sharp. But we should, they don't care. They don't care about this. They don't care.
They don't care.
I can't go into details, but I randomly met Michael McIntyre at the weekend, and yesterday, and he is a massive Spurs fan, and he was literally like, the fact that you guys are even slightly worried about playing this game, he was like, we are shit. We do not care about the Premier League. He was like, you should absolutely wipe the floor with us. So if he's saying that as a Spurs fan, I think most Spurs fan will probably be saying they do not want to play us right now. They just want to skip this game. Just give us the 3 points. Get it gone.
Yeah.
I'd love that to happen. That should be a thing. You should be able to. Why don't they just concede? Why don't they just field a team of 7? Yeah. Just say they don't have the players.
Yeah, I'm trying not. I can't be too animated, mate, because my daughter's sitting a maths exam underneath me, so I'm trying to.
Having to be quiet.
So this is for my ADHD brain. This is really difficult. Don't shout. Speak quietly. Don't shout. Speak quietly. Yes. All of the above. This is the best time to be playing Spurs. However, you never know, because they have been decent against us, but as you just pointed out,
I feel like the way they play. I think we said this about Newcastle before, but obviously for some reason we seemed to beat them really well, because we played well and they didn't play great when we played them at Villa Park. Newcastle, Spurs, and Palace, for whatever reason, just seem to have this thing over us. I don't know whether it's just a mishmash of style, and it's just that the way they play works really well against us, because they play, high energy counter attack football, and pace just everywhere. I always worry about pace, which is why I'm like, Mings has to start. Torres cannot start. I actually want to say that, and I know Torres is Emery's man, but I actually think that he knows that Mings is the better player right now, and I do think he wants to play him. I do just think he has been injured. He's been saying that he's going through the final stages of rehabilitation, hasn't
he? Yeah, I agree, mate. I think it would have been nice if they could have just said that from the start, rather than watch the. Do you know what I mean? Rather than
us sit there going, "What the fuck is Emery doing?
What's going on?" He's made mistakes, but you can't. If Mings hasn't been fully fit, and you haven't probably wanted to risk him, he's had to probably manage those minutes, which is just. I think the disappointing thing is that that's cost us at a time of the season where we could have potentially been an FA Cup final and a Champions League final. Because I think if we would have beaten PSG, I think we would have beaten Arsenal. I do, but it's all these buts and maybes, isn't it? So I think we just got to try it, as we've said in the last 2 weeks. We've got to just win these 2 games, and usually I'd be a little bit worried about Spurs, but like you say, they've got big injuries. Kulusevski not playing and Madison not playing is massive. So they've got Son, but Son's been off the radar for ages. He should just come to the Villa, mate. We'll get him in the summer.
There's someone else who's injured as well. I was speaking to a friend at work who's a Spurs fan, and I'm sure he said, I'll try and find it, but we'll keep talking whilst I'm trying to find it.
But, also, okay, we skipped over it, mate, but as if you met Michael McIntyre.
I don't believe that. Call me Jimbo. It was like Jimbo. I was like,
look at you just casually dropping in names like that as if they're your best mates.
Just dropping it. Yeah. Just it's just a Wednesday night, isn't it?
Mate, it's fair to say that every week we follow train is Michael McIntyre.
Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there, mate. It's Yeah, it's getting there. It's getting there. We're obviously, as always, guys. If you are new to the channel, subscribe down below. Pop your little bell on. Give us a little thumb. Give us a like. If you want to, if you're really a dickhead about it, then give us a down. If you're not really liking this, and as always, we always want to know people's comments and like debates and stuff. So pop the comments down below. How big is this game? Is this game like I feel like So like the Fulham game, for instance, was massive.
Yes.
The Bournemouth game was massive. This game is massive.
Yeah.
Every game for the last like month or 2 months has been huge, right? They've all been like cup finals. We have to win, basically.
Yeah.
And I feel like it was the same with the Fulham game, but there was this weird feeling when I was just kind of like, yeah. I'm like, I'm not.
Yeah.
No, as in like there's this weird feeling of just like, it's Fulham. It's Fulham. Yeah, because I think with the Fulham game,
mate.
I was like,
you just dismiss everybody else. Yeah, it's just Fulham.
No, I think what it was
Spurs.
I never felt like we were going to be in danger of not winning that game. I said, well, if for us not to win, we'd have to play really badly and completely not turn up and all that kind of thing. And then I also think I felt that if we won it, it meant something. It didn't mean anything. Like as in, like you still had to beat Bournemouth, and you still have to. So I think that's the same with this. I think the Bournemouth game was huge because Bournemouth, tough team, away from home, we struggled against them, and we managed to grind it out. This one, I'm like, we should just win this.
Well,
so I'm like, the game that matters is Old Trafford.
Yeah, but this
game should just be run of the mill.
It should be run of the mill. My concern is for the first time this season, like the pundits and the media are all agreeing that we should finish on 69 points.
By the way, Bergvall, he's the other one that's out.
Bergvall, okay, thank you, well done. Yeah, I think I saw there's various people talking about it. Obviously, the running for the top 5, and it was what's his face, Mark Goodrich, who was going. Can see Villa finishing on 69 points. They're going to beat Spurs, no problem. They should beat us. No, he's a Man United fan, isn't he? And when that expectation's on us, we don't deliver, do we?
Yeah,
and
we bottle it.
And we should, in the current state that Spurs and Man United are in, if we don't win those games, it's a travesty. If that's what costs us top 5,
it's a huge opportunity.
Because,
and like we said, we just need to do what we need to do, and then those around us, whatever will happen. So we'll only be disappointed if we don't win these games.
We've got over the most difficult hurdle, which was Bournemouth away. That was the banana skin, mate. If we were going to drop points, it would have been there. And now it's just a question of turning up on Friday with more or less a fully fit squad. Only JJ missing because of and Rashford missing, red card. But and I want to see it.
I don't know. I haven't seen any. I don't know if the team news comes out today. Emery did allude to the fact that Rashford might play again before the end of the season, but
maybe not. So there's Tielemans and Rashford.
He can't play against Man U. So
no. Yeah, so I don't think we're going to see Rashford again. Tillemans is still out, isn't he? He's not going to be back for that game. So I think those are the only injuries. Other than that, we've got everyone raring to go, and I think we have to just go at Spurs and try and beat them because they're crap. If we go at them like we did against Newcastle, I promise you we will have joy.
If we score first, they'll just collapse because they haven't got anything to fight for. They're going to be like, oh, okay, let's just get this over and done with. If we score within the first 20 minutes, I think it's
game over. I'm gutted that JJ is suspended because JJ has a lot of joy against Spurs. He did in the FA Cup. Like they don't like those little runs in behind and players running at them. So we've got to target that really and start like we did against Newcastle. I'm telling you, if we play against like we did against Newcastle, I think we'll
thing now. So I'm guessing then. Well, let's get on to this. Let's get on to your lineup, Gaz.
Oh, here we go. It brings us in another great link, mate.
Okay, so interesting. So you've got McGinn on the left. So I was going to say, because obviously Ramsey's out, Rashford's potentially out. Who plays on that left-hand side? And I would have thought it would have been Rodgers. I would have thought he'd put Rodgers there and he'd put Asensio in the middle.
So this is my thinking, and that's what I think he'll do. But as my lineup,
Marlon either, by the way, he's just not going to play Marlon.
Listen to me. This is my lineup, right? This is what I'm and I'm subliminally.
You'll play Bailey on the right over Marlon.
No, don't stop swearing at me. If that happens, I swear to God, we're having issues, right? I would this is what I want to see, because McGinn and Rodgers can interchange that position, so it's good.
Yeah,
That would work really well for me, right? And Marlon deserves some time, and this is a game where he could play. And like Spurs are crap, he could cause some serious problems. And I think him and Watkins can work really well together. Like if he picks Bailey over Marlon, right, we've got it'll be the first time.
Issues. When he talks about this.
Oh, I have to be quiet. I have to be quiet.
This is,
I'm getting so.
when Emery talks about this, he needs to get that checked if he plays Bailey. But like
he keeps repeating words like Europe, Europe, Europe. I'm going, mate, you need and go and see somebody because you're confused.
Europe. I don't think he's human. I think he's a robot or something.
I am a footballing robot here to destroy Spurs.
It did coincide, I think, with like open AI and all that stuff. But anyway,
well, you never, mate. Yeah.
One of the questions, because obviously you've got McGinn starting here, and one of the things we were debating yesterday with a few people was around McGinn being. Is McGinn part of our starting 11 or our biggest 11? Is McGinn in that for you?
Well, the thing is, and this is, I made this point yesterday, right, in chatting to some people about it, which was if you let's say you swap out, drop Onana, right, bring in Asensio, put McGinn in that holding role. I think you waste McGinn's biggest attribute, which is getting forward. But my problem is when you go forward, I don't necessarily put him there as a starter in that forward four, because I'd rather go Ramsey, Rodgers, Marlon. That's what I would do with Asensio coming on, or as you would do it, Ramsey, Asensio, Rodgers. That's what it'll do. And so it's not that he's not good enough. It's just that I don't think he fits into that mold. So here, this works better for me because we've got no options on the left hand side, and he's left footed and he can play, and he's versatile with his movement, and he will get back and cover Maatsen, which is what I put Maatsen in.
That's the thing with I think because it was interesting when we were talking about it, and I was saying because the way we were talking about initially was like around our best starting 11, and the conversation evolved from that and actually moved into more about because my point was we don't have a best starting 11 because it changes. It depends on who we're playing, how we want to set up. I think we have a big an absolutely must play like 4, and then everyone else kind of rotates. So for instance, you've got whoever, probably the forward. I would say, I mean, he is our only striker, so I would say Watkins should always play. Emi Martinez, Tielemans, and Kamara. For me, them 4 are like we have to play them regardless. Like I feel like them 4 should always play.
I mean, you could put Konza in there as well, mate. I think he'd be a little bit offended that you haven't just mentioned his name.
You're probably yes, you. Okay. Main 5. You're right.
One sub drop. We've just lost a sub, and it was Konza.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, look. That's the spine, right? That's the spine of the team. They should all be there, and the rest of them. It totally depends on who you're playing. And the thing with McGinn is that I actually think he's a less expendable player because he's so versatile. Because he can play holding mid. Because he can play on the left. Because he can play on the right. He can play that number 10. He can even play a thing like left or right. Like he can basically play like left back. Like he can play everywhere. And so that's hugely important. So I'm kind of like, in terms of your 11, like the players in the squad and who you rate and who's in the top 11, I think McGinn's in it because of that versatility. And he's just that player who, if you need that energy and you want that impetus in the midfield, he will just drive you out. He will drive you up the pitch. He will plant a massive tackle on the opposition.
Yeah.
He will just galvanize the fans, the team. He just leads by example. He just doesn't stop. And that's why I'm like, for me, he's imperative to be in that squad, and I think he has to be there. And I think on your team here, I agree. I think he needs to be in there again. I think we need his energy anyway against Spurs. Personally, the Marlon thing. I just don't know. I just don't know. I can see him not playing him.
We do know, like Emery hates him for some reason. Right?
I don't think no, he doesn't hate
No.
him. I think it's just that, like I said, he doesn't play wide, and he probably will want someone out on that right hand side. Like you know what? I wouldn't even be surprised if he plays Garcia and puts Cash right mid.
That again, what? Look, yeah, I
Yeah, it's
understand
the
that.
kind of thing he's done. He's done in the past. He's done it.
But if you look at that front four there, right, as I said about McGinn and Rodgers changing that position, so could Marlon and Rodgers. So it gives what
Yeah.
the way that this front four is supposed to work, right, in my limited footballing knowledge, is that if they can get fluidity between the three players behind Watkins, there's not set positions. All good
it's the
teams
same.
do that.
Remember Ashley Young and Stuart Downing used to do it all the time. I think.
Yeah,
They
just
used to
swap it out
basically
and
just
cause
swap wings
problems.
mid game, and you're like, what's going on?
You're basically playing with three number 10s, really. But you want one of them that will probably drift out wide. And McGinn's more disciplined to do that. He'll do what Emery tells him to do, and that's why I agree with your point about McGinn. It's imperative that he's in that squad. My question about McGinn is that I don't think he's the technically most gifted player that we've got in those positions.
Ever has been. I don't think he ever has. It's hard.
What
The thing with McGinn is it's heart and just drive.
100%.
Like, I mean, but you see what the thing that when we were talking about it yesterday, the thing that I came back to was look at PSG second half.
Oh, he was outstanding, wasn't he? Yeah.
It was unbelievable. Well, actually, McGinn was unbelievable across those two ties. He
But
was
that's what I'm saying.
fantastic. That goal, just the whole play. He literally dragged us into that tie.
I know, but if you look at this season, like if there's been a player to come off, it's been McGinn, even though he's been captain. Like Emery's just brought him off regularly at 60, 70 minutes if he started, and then he's left him out of games.
I do wonder if part of that is because, like we've said, McGinn's biggest qualities are his ass and his and his relentless energy. And obviously, if he's been, and he's not getting younger. He's I think 30. He's coming up to 30s, and he's 29 at the moment.
Yeah,
and he's running himself into the ground. And to be fair, also he's generally fit as well. He's very durable.
Well, and I think he's imperative to our development. I think even if he's not starting, you need him in the dressing room. You need him around the club.
He's fantastic for all that. But also, I think it's the case of he probably is taking him off at 60, 65 because he's probably just lost that edge of being able to do what he does for 90 minutes.
Yeah,
you can't do it. So it gets to that point where he's like, right, well, John's starting to flag a little. But also the opposition is. So let's put some fresh legs on and see if we can get someone, past, break their defense.
But also, not it's a cop out, but it makes a sense that the character that McGinn is the one that takes it for the team. So he's happy to be subbed and kind of, and it still gives the same. Where you've probably got other players that aren't.
So the whole thing. But I was just gonna look. I was just gonna quickly have a look at some of the. Just going to quickly get the Premier League table up here for you. My question is, are Chelsea definitely going to beat Man U?
I hope not, mate. Because if they draw, at least draw on tomorrow,
they draw, we win. Fully
in the driving seat, mate.
I mean, it is a weird one because it does mean it doesn't. I'm not going to say it doesn't mean anything. To be fair, I don't think it changes anything, actually. Because if they draw and we win, we're 2 points above them. Yeah. And then if we draw against Man U and they win. Actually, no, it does, doesn't it? Because if we end up drawing and they draw against Forest, then I think we said they need to draw against Forest anyway, right? They just need to not beat Forest. I think that's regardless. I don't think it actually changes anything.
We were saying that we were expecting them to beat Man United, which I expect them to beat Man United, if I'm honest.
But again, I don't actually think about it now. I think the only result that really helps us is if Man U beat them.
Yeah.
I think if they draw or beat Man U, the final day is the exact same situation, really, regardless, because their goal difference is too good.
Yeah, agreed. Yeah. We need to just, like you say, we need to take care of business and hope they draw against Forest. If they could draw against Man U and Forest, that'd be amazing.
If they draw against Man U and Forest, then we don't even need to win at Old Trafford.
Yeah.
We should
take the pressure off, right?
Yeah.
But it's all to play for, mate.
I think any team going to Old Trafford on the last day needing to win it, it's a horrible thing.
Yeah.
A horrible thing because that
Man, you were
place
so
can
unpredictable,
be,
aren't they?
yeah, and that place can be
A nightmare. It can be,
a
yeah,
real
100%.
cold, like, yeah, real fortress to go to, and it's just yeah, I just don't like it. But this Spurs game, this is why I'm not talking about the Spurs game, because I just feel like
it's a given.
and this is come and bite me in the
Let's
ass.
talk a little bit about it. Like, are there, with all the injuries that Spurs have got, is there anyone left that's going to cause us any damage that could really
Brennan
kind of
Johnson, Son,
okay? But he's not played regularly, Brennan Johnson, has he? He's been in and
no.
out of the team, and so I'm not. Son's always a threat.
Maybe he's going to be like galvanized. He's going to want to impress, and he's going to try and want to get into that
European
Europa League final squad, kind of thing. And he's running down that right hand side. He's quick. He's very quick. Jed Spence, he's also like flies on down their right hand side. Obviously, I know the two Forest players because Forest.
Well, wouldn't you?
They've got what's his face, Van der Ven,
The defender.
Yeah, he's rapid. So, like, in
quick.
terms of us trying to, I don't think transitions where we're going to be able to get them. I think the only way we're going to be able to get them is just control, peg them in, break them down. That's the only. I think that's. But they're always going to be dangerous on the counter. That's the problem.
Well, yeah, 100%. I don't know. I still think we've got too much for them. I still think we should beat them at home. We owe them one anyway for the 4-1 defeat earlier in the season where we were cruising at half time, and I don't know what happened in that second half.
Well, actually, I tell you what's mental is I didn't realise. It's weird because because obviously we had the Man City loss and then we had the Palace loss in the cup, and obviously we beat PSG, but actually we went out and all this kind of stuff. I think, is it right? We've won the last 7 of our 8 Premier League games. That's mad.
Yeah.
we could end this season winning 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
That's bonkers form. That is crazy. And I because again, I was speaking to the guys about it yesterday, and I was saying, it's a weird season. Like, I don't feel like we've ever got going.
Yeah. No, I agree, mate. We've been so
Which is
inconsistent.
weird because we very much have got going. We've won 7 out of our last 8 in the Premier League.
This run has come together, and we haven't played brilliantly though. Like, we've just ground out results.
No one's really talked about us. No one's talked about. No one's sitting there going, "Oh yeah, I can see Villa getting it." Because no one's looking at it going, Villa have won 7 of their last 8 in the Premier League. Do you really think they're going to lose to Spurs or Man U?
I know, it's crazy. I don't know why we can't. I don't know what we got to do to get media time, mate. Apart from win a trophy, that must be maybe if we win the Champions League next year, they'll start talking about us. I don't know. Like, it's crazy. But I'm quite happy to go under the radar, mate, and just come up and do what we got to do.
It's always nice going under the radar and surprising, but it's just it's just a very weird feeling. Like, I'm looking at this like, look at this, like, look at this.
That's crazy.
We've only got this one red here, which was City.
Yeah.
Like, the only other team on similar form to us are City and, weirdly, Brentford.
Yeah. Well, I think we're definitely top of the form chart, aren't we? I think, like, whatever it is.
With them. I mean, I don't know. Yeah, if your form chart goes over the last 8 or whatever, probably.
Yeah.
But and then we're playing these 2 teams here.
Relegation fodder, mate.
Like, to even like have the idea of them getting a green is just bizarre. Like,
can't happen.
Why are we worried? Why are we even slightest bit worried, mate? If it was any normal season, they're not even at the safe 40 points yet.
I know.
They haven't even hit the 40-point mark.
Yeah, that's embarrassing. And
it's absolutely unreal. And it just pisses me off that one of them is going to get Champions League next season. Like, bollocks, man! It needs to go to like a points-based system or something. It's absolute rubbish. It's rubbish.
I mean, I get it, and it's fair, but I think just because of how poor they've been, and they are almost relegation fodder, having that in the Champions League next year, they're not going to be good enough, are they? They're going to get humiliated.
No, because with Champions League, they'll spend hundreds of millions.
But Man United can't just spend, can they? Mate, you can't. How are they going to do that when they're cutting everything? Like,
no, they can't. No, because they're not cutting everything. They're cutting expenditure. They're still getting crazy income because they're commercial. How commercial that club is.
Well, whatever they're doing, mate, the atmosphere in that club is toxic, and if you start buying players and you're firing dinner ladies or not.
Yeah, but I feel like we in this country know that. But if you don't follow, if you're a big player and you're in like Bundesliga, La Liga, Liga 1, like all those different leagues, you're not necessarily looking at that. You're just going, "Oh, Man U want me. Man U, I can play with Ruben Amorim. He's a really good coach. Oh, look at the players they've got. And that's the way that they."
Fan or something.
No. I'm saying this is. No, I'm saying like if you're not in the know, and you just think it's just that is what it is, right? Like, you're just like, wow.
Are you saying that the average European footballer is as thick as shit? Like, if he's watched,
no, I'm just saying that it's the
form
pull.
this season.
I'm just saying it has the pull. What is it? They always say this is Manchester United, and it's like
but,
that.
But surely Man United fans will even admit that at the moment their pool, even if they've got Champions League, is not massive because of the situation the club's in. It's in a complete.
But they'll always have this pull, and they'll always have this thing of, if a player goes there, they'll always have this thing of, I could get in now before they jump again. Look, they're going to do it again. They're going to break. They're Man U. They're going to do it. They're going to break up again. They're going to be in that top 4. They're going to be fighting. They haven't done it for what, a decade or something like that. They haven't done it.
I'm having a cheeky bet they're going to get relegated next year.
Oh, they're not getting relegated, but I think bottom half again, maybe.
They get Champions League and get relegated. That'd be amazing.
Well, yeah, I mean, the squad strengthening they have to do to manage Champions League and Premier League
they've got to replace their whole squad. It's not good enough.
Yeah,
it's simply not good enough. And so even if you get 1 or 2 makeshift signings that come, it ain't going to change them. That club is. I mean, this is the best thing I've witnessed in 35 years of football, mate. I'm just. It couldn't be happening to a nicer team, and I really hope we spank them. But and I really hope Spurs do them in the Europa League final. I really do. Yeah. I hope they don't get. I prefer Spurs.
I don't hate Spurs. I don't mind Spurs, and I do think like everyone hates Daniel Levy. I think every Spurs fan hates Daniel Levy, and he's drives a hard bargain. But I think he does things the right way. Like, he's trying to actually make the club sustainable and all this kind of stuff. And I think that they should have won something, right? And they've come so close. And they are one of the big commercial 6, and it's like, for them not to have won something is actually a bit of a laughing stock.
Yeah, it's great. But I can't. I've got a soft spot for them because they went all Spursy last year, and we should not have finished top 4 last year. Spurs should have finished top 4 last year, and I
loved them. I actually loved them when they're under Poch. I thought they were fantastic. They were brilliant to watch, very entertaining, and it's a classic Spurs thing to do, to get rid of him, right? But anyway, right, Gaz, that's what we've probably got time for. Are you gonna Gaz's final thought?
Oh, yeah, my final thought is my prediction, mate.
Oh shit! Fuck yes! Quick, our predictions. Right, let me just message someone saying I'm going to be 5 minutes.
That's Gaz's final thought.
Yeah, hang on. Let me get my pen and paper. Meanwhile, everyone else has dropped off this video now. No one's watching this now.
No one's going to see this. So. You're more than a record in my little black book. You're more than a result that stands.
I don't know what you're singing.
It's the Drifters, mate.
It's who?
It's a classic song by the Drifters for the older viewers amongst us.
My
mum was a big fan. It's more. The song is "You're More Than a River."
I'm pretty musically. I'm quite good with my music as well, but I still.
Here we go, mate. There's a challenge for you today. If you get a spare 5 minutes at lunchtime, just put the Drifters into Apple Music and
the Drifters,
yeah, and "You're More Than the Number." It's called. You're more than a number.
I've probably definitely heard it. It's just this rendition's horrendous. So right.
It's just that I can't sing. I appreciate that. No, thanks, mate. Yeah. It's a good job. My confidence is not going to be knocked by you, isn't it? I'm still going to keep singing.
Okay,
here we go.
3, 2, 1. Ooh, clean sheet.
I'll go 3rd clean sheet in a row, mate. I think we're going to beat them comfortably 2-0.
I think they'll get a goal. I just think that they probably will get a goal, but I think we'll.
There's no way
do so early. I think the gates
will. No Spuds.
Oh yeah, good old Spuds. That's what I should have put in the title, Spuds. Anyway, Gaz, final thought, and then sing us out.
My final thought is, this is the one. Although like you say, it's going to be Man United, but we win this. I think we get it. I think we beat Man United. I think I'm there. I think we're going to do it. We just need to go at them tomorrow. Attack, just like we did against Newcastle, and wipe the floor with them. That's what we need to do. So send a real message of intent.
I think if we, like I said, I think if we come out the blocks flying, and we get a goal within the first 20 to 30 minutes, I think the game's done.
Yeah, I agree.
I think we can all have a nice bovril at half time and just enjoy the day, enjoy the evening. It's just going to be cold.
Yes, mate.
Right, sing us out, mate.
Okay, mate, but it's going to be a quiet one because Abby's doing a maths exam. Every week we follow the boys in claret and blue.
Brilliant. Bye.
Peace.